Hi, I'm here in Cape Cod, and I just went for coffee this morning, and the place was really cute, and I love coffee shops, and oh my gosh, the coffee was amazing, and it didn't give me the jitters, which that's always an awesome thing because I don't like it when I get the jitters from coffee and just like and so but you know what? I woke up this morning and I was just like, first day, we got here late last night. So it's my first day waking up in a new house and, meeting, Nicholas's parents and just like, I was just like, oh, everyone was already awake and I'm like, oh, I want my quiet time. So I went out and went had breakfast with them, but then I was able to jump away and I got to see the little beach nearby, the south side, and that was the town of, oh my gosh, now I forget. Wait a minute, I have something here that'll tell me. Oysterville. So, ooh, I love oysters. So there's a little, you can get to the South Beach, and we put our feet in the water, and it was really nice temperature. Kind of reminded me of like a bay. The waves weren't as big as like the ocean in New Jersey, but you couldn't see, there was no land you could see, but you could see kind of like the side. There's a point that sticks out. So it kind of wraps around, so you could see that side. But yeah, it's beautiful here. It's hilly, and that beautiful big trees. But I guess I wanted to talk to you guys about, well, my word of the day is rhythm and rituals. And like kind of just like how, like, to start the day, it's just so important to me to have that time of quiet and not just be like, bam, like thrown into like a situation where, I have to talk a lot or someone has to talk to me a lot, and just like, and it's just like, yeah, no, I just want to start the day easy and peaceful and in the conscious mind, and not just jump to the subconscious, right? Where we're just chattery and like, and just staying conscious is so important. And I know I've got that confused sometimes, like the difference between the two, and but maybe I can help explain as I'm figuring it out. Maybe it'll help you too. But I was thinking, like, I feel like I hear from God with my conscious mind, right? And my subconscious is my mind, like my brain. So the conscious is more of the heart. It comes from the inside, God in me. God's in me and outside of me. But just connecting with the heart, and just that the fruits of the Spirit, if you're in your conscious mind, you're going to feel the fruits of the Spirit, which is, the love and the kindness and the patience, and them all, right? And I was thinking, when I when I just sit in quiet and no one's saying anything out loud to me, or me speaking, like, that's just, it's like home, it's like where you feel at home. And for me, that's where I feel at home. So if I go to, if I don't have it, it's like I lose my home, like, and it's it's where I'm grounded. You know, some people will say that, you know, go barefoot on the ground, and that helps ground them, and that's a way, right, that can ground you. But this morning I was just reflecting how just when I have that time of just quiet, I can really feel grounded. And usually if I don't like it, like sometimes, you know, I'm kind of agitated or whatever, and sometimes I'll just start with my rhythm and ritual, right, is to start with thankfulness. But this morning I was like, got to the coffee shop and I just felt like, wow, I feel so thankful. So I didn't really have to go into it much. Like sometimes if I don't feel thankful, I'll just like drum it up, you know, like I'll switch my mood to a more thankful mood and a loving mood, and just to get into that consciousness, right? And so with that, I just so silence is important to me. I put notes here, so I'm referring to them. You know, and it's interesting because the coffee shop was filled with noise. But it's not about not having noise. And sometimes it is. Sometimes that will bother me. But today it was just like, nope, there's noise around me, but that's okay. I'm silent inside. I'm silent. I'm not talking. I'm not listening to anyone. And so Nicholas, my boyfriend, we just we just kind of know each other, and we're like, yeah, you want to have quiet time? Yeah. And we're like both like, yeah. And so it's interesting. So he was across from me, but like for a good 20 minutes we were just quiet, no talking. But sometimes I'd be like he'd use hand gestures if I wanted to say anything, to not, you know, which was kind of cute. And because I wanted to borrow his pen to write stuff down. And then but I was just thinking, like, we were talking about this guy, Jeffrey Allen, which I've seen him on YouTube, and he does meditation stuff, and like really relaxed. It really seems like a really relaxed person. And his wife doesn't speak English, and they speak like telepathically, I think, together. So I was like I wrote a note in my journal, like, let's try to talk telepathically. And so we just had a moment of quiet even, and just to see if we could receive anything from each other. And I during that time I did feel like I felt like energy come to me, and it was a peaceful energy, and you know, I was thinking about like church, and like how people prophesy over. You know, I've gone to prophetic churches, and you know, where it's like there's usually worship music, and then people are sometimes prophesy over you, and they pray over you, and like during that time, like, it's very meditative, and I was just thinking how, like, even during that time, there are times, like, this is an exception to the rule, right? Like, there are times where you can speak, and people prophesy over you, but you're connected to source, to God, to consciousness, to the heart, and just like there's just a difference to it. And then I was talking to Nicholas, and he's like, yeah, and sometimes people do will talk loud during that time, But yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, you're right, there is like a difference, but there can be that, but just and maybe like that could be also like a filter coming through. They're tapping into God, and then it's like filtering through them, right? But I was just thinking, like, like it just made me really think, like, wow, like it is really important to have, for me, to have that time of quiet, that time of going inside me, that time of knowing myself, right? Because I think in my life it's kind of been like, I can be like the type of person who's like thinking of other people, like especially someone new I don't know, like oh, I don't want to seem rude, or I don't want to, like, I'm like kind of like walking on eggshells because I don't feel like, just comfortable yet. So for me it's so important to just go, like, have that time, and then I can go out and do stuff, but have that time. And during this time today, I when I went inside of myself and connected to God, and I just thought of, I'm free to be me. I find joy in myself. I know myself. I know my style. It took me a long time to like figure that out, like, because I don't know, maybe I didn't go inside enough, but to take care of myself. And then, like, when it comes to style, like I'm like style, like as in like what I like to wear, and also style in like what decor I like, in my house, things like that. And then I spent some time just hearing what the land around me would want to say to me. So that's not like, so after I went grounded inside of me with God, I heard what God said to me, right? Then I went to the land and said, if there's anything in the land that wants to speak to me, and that could be like just knowing that everything's alive, right? And and is there any like peace or joy from the land, or angels, right? Is there any angels that want to speak to me? And when I say speak, it doesn't necessarily have to be words. It could just be like energy, whatever the angels want to, if they want to help me with something, I'm accepting, right? I'm accepting the help of angels around me. And so, yeah, and I had like a little bit come to me where it was like, speak, to travel, and to collect, and I just felt like this YouTube video is a way I can do that, right? Like where I can speak to you guys, and I also can collect memories and travel things and share them, right? So that's when I thought of collect, that's what I thought of. Yeah, so okay, before I end, I'm going to share, I'm kind of contemplating if I should do this as a separate video, which I think I will. I'm gonna wait and I'll share my next thing as a second video, and that's kind of like about how God has spoken to me, like a mind-blowing thing that I just thought of today. of how God has spoken to me, and I didn't make the connection until today. So yeah, I'll share that on another video. God bless.